The date is March 18th, 2020, and shortly after being laid off his job in Midwest USA, a young kid looks to start a YouTube channel talking about his most passionate thing for his entire life. CSGO. He starts off with a video talking about how to improve your aim, and coming from a silver 2 and an average watch duration of less than 10%, it's obvious it's not going to work there. Shortly he transitions into trade up videos, but soon finds that they once again fall quite short. This is where he decides to try something completely brand new on YouTube, actually doing it. He hops into a brand new series called Going From Nothing to a Knife, and this time he's not planning to sponsor his way through it, he's not planning to cheat his way through it, he's planning to do whatever it takes to actually achieve a knife. Now this series is probably the most thing I'm proud of on YouTube. The fact that I was able to go through the entire thing and complete it, and today is the final video talking about it. It's going to be the final video ever, and I'm going to be telling you specifically what knife I got, how long it took, in the overall process of it. Now before we get too deep into it, I want to tell you a couple things. First up, what inspired this video is actually this title right here, Going From Nothing to a Knife in 2022. And instead of misleading you and specifically telling you to go follow up on my gambling sponsor, that's obviously a conflict of interest since I'm giving investment advice, I decided I would actually show you how I personally went from nothing to a knife, not sponsored, not anything, not cheating my way through it. I figured I'd go over actually how it happens. The only unfortunate thing is I'm not going to be getting the monetary gain that comes with a sponsored gambling video. The other thing I want to mention is I recently launched channel memberships. Now there's not a ton of things I can offer considering I won't put out my investment videos earlier, or my videos where I talk about investment things, because I think that's kind of misleading in a pay to win kind of scenario. It's not what I want, so I can offer you up pretty much all of my past trade ups. I've got 38 in there right now, and in the future any trade ups I do on the channel, the actual link to it will be added in there. Now if you're going to start going from nothing to a knife now, these are my biggest tips. First up, you're probably going to have to spend a lot of time on click to earn websites. These are mainly what I started out using in my Nothing to a Knife series. I've got some linked in the description. It's a referral code if you want to help me out. Otherwise, throw your friend's code in there. It doesn't matter at all. But basically, you are not going to make enough money investing if you're starting with less than $15, $20 or something like that. If you're just starting off with a couple dollars, most likely your better options are going to be either flipping skins or just trying to earn more capital to invest with. I started off with just a couple dollars in the series, and honestly I got very lucky due to the timelines because I was able to pick up Chroma 3 cases for 10 cents a piece because this was many years ago. You are almost guaranteed to not be put in a great situation just because right now cases are very inflated. There's no cheap cases, and there's no cases that I expect to really shoot up in price like we saw with a couple of the cases I invested into during the series. If we want to look back just over a year and 3 months ago, you can see that this was the prices I bought everything for. You can see 9 cents for the Chroma 3 case. I bought 50 of them. Now they're worth 80 cents. That means I 8x on that investment, which is absolutely crazy and not what you are going to find. You've still got things like the Wildfire case, which I doubled and sold for real cash. The point is, whatever prices you're looking on here, they're gone, and you're not going to have that opportunity of buying in at such a cheap luxury. I think you're definitely going to be put in a much tougher situation, and it might be even impossible for you to make the return profit that I did. That being said though, not everything went to plan with this series. Well, I did have a lot of great investments that turned out wonderfully. You can see here that in October of 2020, when I had just a mere $84, and that was pretty much all that I worked for. I didn't invest to get a lot of that. You can see that at this time the glove case was 65 cents. It's now 4 times that, but you can see that I've got things like the gold web foil I bought for $5.50. I've got other things like the Berlin capsules at the very top. 17 of those I bought for around $1.60. Not every investment is going to pan out, and I think you're going to be really limiting yourself if you're just looking at the investments that pan out and viewing your success on those. If you don't take into consideration the losses you had along the way, it's not going to be as great when you get to the end. Getting to the end of this series has really taught me that I'm not the most perfect investor out there, and while I definitely ended up with more wins than losses, it's really surprising looking back at the past and seeing what didn't work out and why it didn't work out. But catching you on up to speed today here, after 17 episodes and over 28 months of this entire series, today we're going to be cashing in and telling you what knife I could have achieved and why I didn't achieve it. Now I had about $200, and $200 can definitely buy you a lot of nice knives. We're talking about a Felch knife Tiger Tooth, a Bowie knife Tiger Tooth, two knives that are definitely going to be decently holding their value because of the finish they have on them, but I wanted to go for something a little bit bigger. So what I did is I bought 63 cases because that's all that we could afford, and we were trying to go for what the comments suggested, or at least one person suggested, which is an M9 Sapphire. And here we are for quite possibly the most interesting point I've ever had in a video, where I'm unboxing cases after using the money I got to invest. Starting off here, not great builds, 10 $10. I mean, none of the videos I created early on in YouTube were good, but they somehow found people that liked them, which was just absolutely crazy. People who believed in my success on YouTube, which is just crazy to me, looking back at all these different comments of people being supportive. And quite a fitting end to the way this goes. We get a skin that almost breaks into factory new where it would be worth a significant amount more. We end up disappointing with one pink in minimal wear that is worth approximately the cost of the case plus the key that was needed to open it. As this series comes to an end, and so I feel a small chapter of my time on CSGO does as well, I just wanted to say thank you. Thank you for sticking with me, and as always, I hope you have a great rest of your day.